we sure would love to have an opportunity to have a fair trial. And all I ask is, let me bring my witnesses. Let me bring my witnesses. Let me bring Rahm Emanuel, and let me bring Valerie Jarrett, and let me bring Congressman Jackson, and all the other people that have been talked about, and let them tell the Senate panel the truth.
He's not going quietly into the night. Governor Blagojevich just a few moments ago talking to the media about his upcoming impeachment trial set to begin in 3 days.
All right, so is talking to the press going to help or hurt his case? Former Assistant U.S. Attorney Patrick Collins, who's leading the Illinois Reform Commission to clean up government, joins us this morning. You heard what he just said. Right now he's reaching out to the people, public opinion. Is this going to help or hurt him?
It's not your typical strategy in a criminal defense case to have the defendant going out talking. What I see, and I don't have any inside scoop, but what I see is that he's not following Mr. Jensen's advice. Mr. Adam and Mr. Jensen seem to have conflicting input, and he's taken his case to the people.
Yeah, because at least one of his attorneys is encouraging him to go to these national media outlets, you know, The View and some of these other talk shows, to talk about his side of the story.
So that's just, again, that's a prosecutor's dream, because in the George Ryan trial, for example, we played in the case snippets of his public statements. I mean, when you're out that much in public, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to say things he's going to regret. He doesn't know all the evidence the government has. It's a terrible defense strategy, and I'm a big fan of Eddie Jensen, and I don't believe for a minute that Eddie has signed off on this, and I really wonder how long he's going to be in the case, because when your client's not following your advice, you're going to do something else.
It seems to be a foregone conclusion. He will be removed from office. Overtures to a potential jury pool. That's what many of us in the media have been saying. You're the expert here. What's going on?
Well, I mean, I'm not the expert in terms of what sort of motivates defendants. I can't say again that this is not your typical defense strategy. Clearly, it's changed in the last few days. He's being very public. He's going to be on the radio, TV. It's just not your typical strategy. Whether it succeeds or not, again, I'm not going to predict that, but it's not your typical strategy, and it's clearly not one that Mr. Jensen supports.
Well, he must think he has nothing to lose, obviously, because right now we're talking about the impeachment trial, which a lot of senators have already said they are going to, in fact, convict him and remove him from office. As far as this criminal case is concerned, how many years are we looking at down the line before that even begins?
Well, he still hasn't been indicted yet. The government has until April to indict the case, and then this process starts from then, and there's going to be legal challenges if he fights legally. You know, from George Ryan, he was indicted in '03. The trial started in '06. Depending on the judge you draw, the legal wrangling, it could be several years. So this case, if he fights, could be around for a long time.
Kind of like the best of times, worst of times here, what's going on with the governor. At the same time, you have had your first Illinois Reform Commission meeting, which is to clean up state government. How is that going?
Well, we had a great day yesterday. The room was packed. We had a lot of coverage from the media. You're showing on your screen here our panel. We got a great panel from a lot of walks of life. You know, we don't have your typical insiders. These are good and decent people who do have some knowledge of the system. And I was really pleased with the eloquence of our commissioners. We had some great witnesses. Former State Senator Steve Rauschenberger came and spoke. And he, you know, we're really there to sort of hear it directly. Comptroller Hines spoke. We had a witness come up from Springfield, a state employee. Some really good and decent people. Our real challenge is to take this massive information and really boil it down, because we have 100 days to come up with some solutions.
You mentioned Rauschenberger, and he said, you know, until you cut off the money supply, things are not going to change in state government. How are you going to do that?
Well, again, that's part of the big challenge, and I don't want to sort of foreshadow it, but again, former State Senator Rauschenberger, there's something about public officials who are not in public life. They can really be direct and candid, and gosh, it would be great, and he was candid, I think, when he was in office, but so many public officials, I think, gain their candor after they leave office. And he was very, very helpful, I think, to our group yesterday. All
right, Pat, thanks so much for coming in again. What's the website that everybody can go to?
ReformIllinoisNow.org. Thank you for letting me say that. And we've gotten hundreds of responses. And we actually had a witness come yesterday who was from our website. So
you're obviously doing very important work. So our thoughts and prayers are with you and your commission.
Prayers too. Thanks.
Yes,
thank you, Pat.
And for your new baby that you're about to have. When is it due again?
February 8th.
The fourth one. Talk about a busy man over here. Good luck to you.
All right.